Hello students, welcome to the lecture. Today we are going to start with a new topic, new chapter under costing, that is material cost. So the chapter we're going to start is material cost. And I am Priyanka Srivastav, your mentor who is going to teach you the subject costing. I had already given my introduction in the previous video. I hope you have completed the chapter number 1, that is Introduction to Costing and Management Accounting. And in the chapter number 2 that we are going to start today will be the material cost. So before starting the chapter, let me tell you that how I'm going to teach this chapter to you. How we're going to go forward is, first we'll clear our concepts, then we'll discuss the formulas, and then we'll solve the problems. Okay, so in the examination you can expect 1 to 2 practical problems from this chapter, plus you might expect at least one question of your regarding your theory, that is concept. So if whenever I'm explaining you concept, the reason for these is basically the two things. First, to give you the understanding of the problems, that what problem you are solving, why it is essential for you to know to understand such a kind of problem. Whenever you're going to face such a kind of problem in your practical life, you will be able to apply these methods and will able to handle the concept, that is material cost. So we'll discuss the concept so that you can learn the formulas in a practical manner, in a conceptual manner. Then also we'll go through some theory portion that will cover the theory thing in your examination, and then we'll go forward with the problems. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Okay, without wasting any time, I'm going to start with the topic, that is material costing. So the first word that we have here is material. So what do you mean by material? If you have a manufacturing unit, or if you're doing any kind of business, what will be the material for you? So the material is like a raw material which are used to produce finished goods. Also, we can say that it is a substance that forms the part of finished product. Or in a technical manner, please note this down. Material refers to the commodities supplied to an undertaking for the purpose of manufacturing the product or providing services. First, let me explain you the meaning of the word material. So material is anything which is used as a substance, or you can say an input, that will help you to produce the output. Okay, so if I draw it like that, suppose this is the factory. Under this there is an input that goes in, then there is work in progress where the processing and all these things will happen, and finally you get the output, which is called as finished goods. And this inputs means your raw material. So that is what I was explaining. Okay, so what the technical thing is telling you is material refers to all those commodities which is supplied to produce and product. Okay, just supplied to an undertaking for the purpose of manufacturing a product or for providing a services. So I can give you an example for making garments. So if my company is the garment factory, clothing factory you can say, so my raw material would be cotton. Okay, my raw material would be cotton, it would be thread and some other design or some kind of fabrics I can use. I can use some kind of patterns, molds. So all these things are like my raw material, and my finished goods is, you can say, a t-shirt or a bed sheet. So to produce these things, we need all these material. So these will be called as material in case of manufacturing a product. Now if I'm providing a service, so suppose take the example of teaching services, or you can say your professional services that you are giving. So the drafts, let me give example of CA, CMA, CS. So if anyone has come to take a service of audit from these people, or for annual filing, let's say. So if they are not indulged in preparation of financial accounts or statements of that particular company, they will be needing a raw material. For them, the raw material will be they need to produce the proper accounts, financial statement, records. So these are the raw material that will be provided by the company. So using these things and doing some work in progress, they will actually do the filings. So they will actually do the filing. So these filings is finished goods for professionals. So as I said here, that material refers to the commodity supplied to an undertaking for the purpose of manufacturing a product or providing a service. So I hope you're clear with the topic, what is material. Now we have already discussed that what was the meaning of costing. Let me again remind you the same. You can note this down. It is a process of ascertaining cost. So, if what was material? Kind of raw materials which are used, or components or substance which are used to produce a product, a finished goods. And what is costing? It is the process of ascertaining cost. So when I'll merge these two terms, material plus costing, then what will you get here? It will be, you will be getting the methods, you will be finding some methods or process to ascertain the cost of all the materials used in manufacturing a product or providing the services. So this is not the definition that is given in your book or something, but this is the crux that I have taken out by merging the two words, that is, one is material and one is costing. Because material means the materials or the inputs used to produce an output, and the costing is the method to find the cost of those materials which are used to produce a particular product or for providing other services. Okay, so let us see the proper language that is written. Before that, I'm giving you a minute time to basically note down. Okay. Done? Now you can pause it and note it. I'm just showing it for just 5 seconds. You can pause and note that. Now we have one or two things also to discuss, that material in your books or in the reality, the material is also be called as the word inventory. Okay, and material includes various things, not only raw material. What other things it includes? You can please tell me? It includes work in progress, it includes finished goods, and lastly it includes scrap. So work in progress means what? When in this example, when you have put some cotton, thread, fabrics, now these are put into the machines, or if it is handmade, then it will be given to the laborers, and then they will be working on these raw material to produce a final product. So this work in progress is also an inventory. Why? Because we cannot count it as a finished good also, and it will not be considered as even raw material also. So work in progress is also a part of materials, okay, because it is there in the system till the time it will be completed and it will be sold out. It will be considered as material or inventory. And why the word finished goods is mentioned here? Because the goods is finished, the product is ready, but it is still in the warehouse and it is still unsold. So for me, that is also an inventory, or you can say stock. Okay, like you have written that I have a 10,000 kgs of onion in my stock. So what is that? Why I'm calling the onion as my stock? Because I haven't sold that yet. They are ready to sell, but that they are not sold yet. So these are like my inventory. So this will also be included in the word material. Last word is scrap. Now what do you mean by scrap? So whenever you're going to in this example, in our factory example, if you are manufacturing a t-shirt, so suppose in work in progress, they had first made a piece of cloth this big, and out of these cloth you need to make the t-shirt. So t-shirt will be equal to only this much. Don't go on my drawing. Okay, so t-shirt will use only this much of cloth. What about this rest? So this rest is basically your scrap. So obviously this has some value. I can either reuse this material or like I can sell these things. Okay, so it also has some value. So this scrap also is included in the word material. Okay, now you can note this. Now let us understand what is material cost. So material cost, it is basically a significant component of total cost of any product. It is significant component, or you can say significant important part or component of total cost of product. Especially when there is a manufacturing unit. Reason, let me explain you this, that if again with my example, t-shirt price. Now how I will determine this t-shirt price? So first I need to know the cost of cotton, thread, colors, design, patterns, block patterns, or all those ready-made things that I have. Suppose this costs 100 rupees, thread costs 50 rupees, color costs 50 rupees, pattern costs 30 rupees. So the cost of, and this work in progress, when I enter these goods into the process, how much cost it will take, including any cost that taken place while producing that particular product. Suppose it is 300 rupees. Then when after it gets finished, it is put for some period in storage. So it will also include the storage cost. So storage cost, let's say, is 100 rupees. Now what will be the total price, total cost of material, or you can say total cost of t-shirt? 400, 500, 600, 630. So this is like that price at which I am not gaining anything. It is like cut cost to cost basis, that I am not earning anything, and the price, this is the price, cost price that we have, and if we want to have a profit, we need to sell it at a higher price. So that's why we need to ascertain the material cost. So that's why we can, with the help of this, we can determine the final cost, and on the basis of which we can fix our selling price, and our profit will be determined accordingly. Okay. Next is, it also says that it constitutes 80%, 40 to 80% of total cost. But this percentage varies from industry to industry. For manufacturing industry sector, material cost is of greatest importance. Okay. Therefore, what we are going to study is we're going to study the analysis and control on material cost. So what I had said, that I had already proved that it is an important part of your total cost, and if especially if you are manufacturing sector, your raw material investment in your material would be very high, and if you are providing services, the material that will be using for providing services, suppose you are providing a consultancy services, then you just need a laptop, printer, basic amenities by which you can like serve n number of clients. But for producing every single product, you need a raw material for each of them. So obviously the material analysis, the material costing chapter becomes very important when it comes to manufacturing sector. So that's why it is very important for us to know what is the material costing. We should be able to analyze that and control the material cost. Control means we should be able to reduce the material cost. Okay, you can note this. Done. Next thing we have to see is the topic material control. Now, material control means what? Basically, the main meaning of material control is to manage the material properly. Okay, that is the level of materials. So, suppose this is your factory. This is your inventory box, for example. Okay, so how much level of inventory you should have so that it will not lead to excess of material or shortage of material. The two problems that is generally faced by the inventory department is either they face the problem of excess of material or shortage of material. Now what happens when there is an excess of material? It will lead to, it can basically become obsolete. Obsolete means what? It outdated. Okay, it may become outdated. The same example, clothing example. So suppose this kurti that I wear, now this is right now, suppose it is in trend, but after a period of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, there might be possible that this trend will goes off, so it will become obsolete. Or like, let's take a example of mobile phones. So if the chip that is being installed in the phones or your laptops, that should be used within a time frame, because the technology gets advanced day by day. So if you put that in stock for a longer period of time, it will get obsolete. Or just take an example of a packet of Maggi. So if you are like a seller of Maggie and you have stored the Maggie in your storage, and if you have stocked it for a period of 6 months or 12 months, then it there might be a risk that it will got expired. Okay, and also you will have to bear the rent of warehouse, because if you have excess of material, you need a place to keep that material in. And in some factories, the material that is used are very delicate, especially in pharmaceutical factories. They need to maintain a certain kind of temperature to keep that particular material okay, and without means there should be no fungus on that, or no, it should not be like deteriorated. So for that, many factors need to be considered. So for maintaining that kind of environment, you basically need funds. So it is just like a wastage of funds, because you are not requiring that much of material, and you are like demanding, ordering that excess of material, and the idle material that is left out will have the risk to get obsolete, or basically it may basically lead to the idle fund, wastage of funds, wastage of the rent which is that you are going to pay for the warehouse where you're going to keep that particular inventory. So suppose this is your inventory box, this 100 is your limit, that is 100 kgs of, for example, cotton you require every month, but you are ordering it in excess. Okay, you are ordering, suppose, up to 200 kgs of cotton. So you are ordering 100 kg in excess. Then what will happen? Then bugs might basically come into that. The quality may get deteriorated. So to avoid this, we should know that my limit is 100 kg of cotton. So to know this limit, the material control term will help. It will provide you various techniques which will help you in avoiding this kind of situation. Now what will happen when there is a shortage of material? In that case, suppose your limit is 100 kg and you have only 80 kgs with you. So whenever you will be needing the cotton for the production, you will not be having that, and you will then give an order to the supplier for providing the raw material, and the supplier will also take a time of 5 days, 10 days to deliver the product, and that 5 to 10 days is again your wastage. For 5 to 10 days your production might get stopped, so it will again lead to huge losses. So to avoid all these situations, we have a concept called material control. So let us write something about it. The function of ensuring that sufficient goods are retained in stock to meet all requirements without carrying unnecessary large stocks. Okay, so you can pause it and note this down. Now we'll start with these are my notes. Okay, so first we'll start with that what are the objective of this inventory control. Now, why this proper recording and control of material is essential, that is given under question number 1. Okay, that will going to explain you that why this basically material control is important and what is the benefit of this. So first it says that the quality of finished product depends on quality of raw material. As I already explained you that if you keep any product for a longer period of time in your stock, there is chances that its quality might get deteriorated or bugs might come into that. So if the raw material of cheap quality is used, then obviously your finished products, the quality of finished product will get compromised. So we don't want this. Okay. Next is price of the raw material paid should be minimum and competitive. So this is also a very important objective, that we want that the price of the raw material should be minimum and competitive, so that the cost of product will be minimum. The final total cost of product will be minimum. And the next is continuity in production without interruption in production process. So that is if there is a case of the shortage of funds, okay, shortage of raw material inventory, then it may lead to interruption in the production process. So we don't want that. So that's why we will be focusing on the better control over inventory or material. Next is cost of holding material, that is no overstocking. So that the warehouse charges that I have told you is basically called as cost of holding material. Holding material is cost of keeping the material with you in your warehouse. So the cost that is required to maintain a particular temperature or to provide some kind of pesticides or something that is required, so that the quality won't get deteriorated. So to avoid all these costs, we should avoid overstocking. Okay. Next is wastage and losses that should be avoided. So obviously if there is an excess or overstocking, then it may lead to various wastage that I had already discussed and various kind of losses also. And next is regular information about resources or materials, so that the production can be planned properly and required materials purchased in time. So basically we need to be updated about how much stock we have currently, in how many days we need to order it again, and what is the frequency of order, how much quantity I need to order. So all these questions need to get answered. So for that we need to the department need to get updated with the current information about the inventory maintained in their stock, okay, in their factory. Next is what are the objectives of inventory control. So why we are like focusing on this inventory control, what is the main reason of doing this? So it will basically, as we've already discussed, will minimize the disruption in the production process. Okay, it will procure and store the material at lowest price possible, considering the quality required to be maintained. Because whenever we'll have the time, we'll focus on purchasing goods from such a kind of supplier who is basically holding the good at lowest price possible. Okay, who will be selling the good at lowest price possible with a better quality. Okay, and we need to reduce the holding cost. Okay, how? By minimizing the investment in inventories, keeping in view the operating requirements. So this point I had already explained you a lot. And finally, reduction in wastage, because it will provide you the provide for efficient store of material, so that inventories are protected from the loss by fire and theft, and handling time and costs are kept minimum. So wastage, how you are going to reduce the wastage? Because when you are updated with how much product you have ordered, how much was defective and everything you are aware of, then and you have put all the facilities like fire extinguisher, alarm, and all these things, then you will reduce your wastage by way of loss by fire. And also if you have proper control system, then there will be reduction in the risk of theft. Okay, and handling will be done properly so that it will help you in putting your cost minimum. Now, to keep surplus and obsolete items to the minimum. So whenever you know that I have like 10 kinds of items, suppose one of my product is milk manufacturing and selling. So milk is an item which gets obsolete very easily. So obviously the production should be such like that it should be sold within a day or two. So accordingly we need to plan things out. Okay, then completion of order in time. So obviously you are like producing finished product. If you are producing finished product on a particular order, so you should deliver the same in time. For that you need to keep a track on material, because if in case there is a shortage of material and you call to the basically you got an order of like 100 t-shirts and you are not having the enough cotton with you, how are you going to make those t-shirts? So you should maintain such a kind of inventory level that if you get an order, you will be able to complete it on time and there will be no shortage of those materials. And you will be having an adequate and reliable information if you are doing the better inventory control. Okay. Next we have that what are the types of costs which are involved in material management. So it has first purchase cost. So whenever you're going to purchase a material, you will be having the purchase cost, that is cost of that raw material. For in our example, the cost of cotton is your purchase cost. Next we have ordering cost. So whenever you will be ordering, what is ordering cost? Cost of placing an order. For example, whenever we order anything on Amazon, the extra charge that they take you in the form of delivery charges or any conveyance fee or all these things, these are your ordering costs. So whenever you place an order for purchasing and raw material, you need to bear an extra cost which is called as ordering cost. Then you have a carrying cost. Carrying cost is cost of holding an inventory. That is, if you purchase some inventory, what will be the cost of holding that, keeping that in your warehouse? So the warehouse charges, any extra expenses that is incurred to keep that product in warehouse, any special arrangement required, so all these will be called as carrying cost. And then we have one stock out cost and then quality cost. Okay, so what is stock out cost? Let us write down what is stock out cost. It is a lost income and expense associated with shortage of inventory. So what it says, in case when there is a shortage of inventory, what will be the loss that you will be facing? That is loss of disruption in production process. What this lead to? It will lead to shortage of supply. Then how it will going to affect? It will going to affect the sales. So ultimately it will lead to loss. Okay, and any income arises associated with that particular shortage of inventory, that might also happen. The loss of income and the expenses that you need to do in case of shortage of inventory. So this is the loss of income, and how it will also lead to some expense is that when you are in hurry and if anyone is selling you the raw material at higher price, you will be readily you will be going to accept that higher price, because at that time the thing that will be there in your mind is that I need to start my production process as soon as possible. So that's why you will be ready to purchase the raw material at higher purchase cost. Okay, so obviously it will be it will bring an expense to you that will be associated with the shortage of inventory. Okay, you can note this down. Now next we have elements of material control. Now material control will involve the efficient functioning of following operations. Okay, it will involve efficient functioning of following operations. So how it is going to help you material control? It will help you in purchasing the raw material, in receiving the raw material, in doing the inspection of raw material. So you have purchased the raw material from the supplier, then you have received it. Okay, and then after receiving, the first thing you will going to do is inspect that how much quantity I had ordered. Do I receive the same thing? Is it okay? Is there any defect in that, or should I need to return something or get it exchanged? So all these things need to be checked. After inspection, what next thing you need to have to do is you need to store the material, okay, in your warehouse, and then whenever the production department needs the material, they will going to request the storage department, the stock department, and then this department will issue the material to production department, and then it will be maintaining the inventory record, that how much we have purchased, how much was there at the beginning of the year, how much we have issued, how much we have lost, okay, and what balance that is left. Okay, and the stock audit. The stock audit will be doing the audit of the thing, that how much we have received, how much we have issued, how much is left out, how much is we have lost by fire, by theft, or by any kind of means. So all these things will be inspected under stock audit. Okay, and also it will check the quality of audit stock. Now I'm ending this lecture here only. In the next lecture, I'm going to start with flow chart of material procurement procedure. So it's not as simple as that I have gone to market, purchased the raw material, and then done the production, and there is a finished good. The manufacturing unit are very large, very huge. They have various departments, and all these departments work with a coordination to basically serve in a better way, and basically all these departments are included when it comes to material procurement procedures. So how all these departments deals with each other to do the task of material control, we're going to discuss in the next lecture. So till then, please revise the today's lecture before moving towards next lecture. Thank you.